Prime time, baby. Prime time. Bobby Productions doing a rant here at 8:48 p.m. Some of you would consider that prime time. I would as well. The reason I'm doing this rant, usually I wouldn't just do an impromptu rant like this, but this is, of course, about Blockbuster 2, Busted to Pieces, my latest, greatest movie ever. And basically, the reason I'm making this rant, I may or may not have mentioned it to friends of mine, but now I'm going to put it all out there on the table. Some of you are going to go, so what? But Blockbuster 2 already is Bobby Productions' longest movie ever. I have edited over 80 minutes of the movie, but we are still not to the goal. Of course, if we had this little thermometer that showed how long I would need the movie to be, we're about 2/3 there. We need another 40 minutes right now to get this to the 2-hour mark. Can we do it? Yes, I believe we can. I say yes with a bit of hesitance because, there is still, good portion of the movie to be filmed, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the movie's going to be 2 hours, basically. If I have to strangle 120 minutes out of it myself, I will. But we've already got 80 with what I believe is just so good. Pretty much the best 2/3 of the movie. And then, obviously the last third I have to film is still going to be really great. The movie never lets up. I may or may not have mentioned this in the past, but I mean, it never lets up, which is really hard to do when you're doing a 60-scene movie. You'd think a few of them would be duds, but every scene serves a purpose to get to the next scene, to maybe add significance to the last scene. I mean, obviously this is all just elementary stuff. Maybe I'm getting excited about nothing, but the movie's over 80 minutes already. Blockbuster, the original, was 78 minutes. It was my longest production to this point, and it still is, since it is the last released production to be that long. So right now, Blockbuster holds the title, but it is soon to be bested by Blockbuster 2, Busted to Pieces, releasing this fall. I mentioned that there is still some more to film, and there is. There is still some more to film. I can't emphasize that enough. There are about 10 scenes, give or take, that still need to be either completely filmed or pieced together, finished. Even when that's done, the movie's not done. There's still a rigorous editing process. It took me this long to edit 80 minutes. It's still going to take me, at least another couple months to do, the next 40 minutes. So you're probably wondering, how am I going to get this thing out on time? Well, I never really set a deadline. Could be coming out in late September, October. Hopefully no later than October, November, but we'll see what happens. I'd like to have this thing filmed. I'd love to be presenting at the end of August some kind of massive celebration celebrating the fact that we filmed all 60 some odd scenes of Blockbuster 2. The movie has gone through many metamorphoses, just in terms of how many scenes there were. The original script was exactly 60 scenes. The goal was each scene is about a 2-minute clip on average. Some are longer, some are shorter, so that the whole movie, 60 times 2, would be 2 hours. But that didn't really work out. Some scenes were added, some scenes were taken out. I kind of expected that. The movie's actually a little bit, it's like 63, 64 scenes altogether, but a couple of those scenes are really short. A couple of those scenes are segues I added. As I go through the movie, at my discretion, I add and take out things, and the goal here is to get the best 2 hours out of it. I mentioned this movie's going to be 2 hours. That doesn't mean it's just going to be any old 2 hours. I'm going to make sure that only the best scenes make it into the final cut. I treat every scene of this movie as if it is its own mini-movie. I mean, there's so many scenes in the movie, some of them ranging from like 30 seconds to like 8 minutes. And no matter what the movie, whatever the scene is, I edit it as if it were a new movie. So you put them all together, and well, you just tell me what you got. I mean, it's sick. It is absolutely disgusting how good this movie is. And I usually don't brag about this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I think that you'll all love it. That doesn't mean, by no means am I speaking for anybody else. I'm not even saying I love it yet, because it's not really done yet, so I haven't pieced it together. But from what I've seen, and obviously I'm the only one who's seen all 80 minutes of this thing, it's really freaking good. And I just say that from a production standpoint. Some of you might not like the story, some of you might not like the characters or the way I use them. I'm sure there'll be something. I mean, this plot line is not for everybody. As I've mentioned before, it's a very emotional plot line. If you're looking for good times, watch the first Blockbuster, because the good times are over, pretty much, in Blockbuster 2. There's still some here and there, but Blockbuster 2 has a much darker feel to it, so if that's not your cup of tea, I respect that. But this is a great movie, I think. I can't, once again, I can't say if it's better or not because it's not done yet. And also, it's not better so much as different. The first Blockbuster was just kind of hilarious, you know? There were a couple of random moments, but I mean, it was just funny. It was just slapstick comedy, whatever. Not so much with this. This has a serious story the whole way through, and it never lets you forget it. There's a couple moments where there's some jokes, but, I mean, the challenge was really staying on task, and, like, even in those joking moments, remembering that there is a full story here. So, I deliver that story the whole time, keeping it focused on the story for the whole 2 hours, and, yeah, I've done a lot of rambling, but this is my primetime Bali Productions rant. Blockbuster 2, officially, unofficially, my longest movie ever, over 80 minutes long. Check it out when it releases this fall, whenever that means. I'll let you know, but I know you'll want to see it in all of its 2 hours. Just set aside a 2-hour block. I don't know if anyone's done this before, 2-hour amateur movie. I'm sure somebody has. I mean on YouTube, not in an independent film, but I mean like on YouTube, a 2-hour movie, original 2-hour movie. It's probably been done, but I'm doing it again. So, Blockbuster 2, Busted to Pieces. Check out our Facebook group, Twitter me, YouTube me, email me, whatever you want. Blockbuster 2 is coming out this fall. Bali Productions takes the stage for the 8th time. Hopefully you'll love the show. Gotta go.